Because
Because you're a hot girl. Sorry, excuse me. May I just tell you something really quickly?
He's a badass day gamer.
The London Daygame model.
The type of skills and the confidence Deepak shows in his infields, you can get these skills for the first time through his brand new product, Dating Mastery. Join Dating Mastery now. It's no doubtably the best dating product on this planet, period. And if you don't like it in the first month, then you can also cancel it, no issues. Join Dating Mastery now, get laid, get girlfriend and live a happy life. The link is in the description below. So hey guys, hope you are doing good. I'm doing good too. Welcome to another scientific or technical video. In this video, I'll be breaking down some parts of London Daygame model, or you can also say white Daygame model, which is originated in England, in London. So we will be talking about that. It is a very technical video. Maybe some people will not like it, but this is the type of video I love to make because I'm a very scientific, analytical kind of guy, and I always wanted to be a scientist when I was kid, but I'm a dating coach, but I still want to use that kind of scientific mind, that kind of, technical mind in dating, so that you guys who are working as doctors, engineers, the guys, like normally the guys are more logical, able to understand technically when it comes to seduction, because many of you guys are confused what's going on in this seduction community. You guys not able to technically understand how the game works. So it is my duty to teach you, to explain you technically so that you understand it, how the game works actually in real life. In this video, we will be dissecting London Daygame model, or we also say white Daygame model. Why I'm saying it white Daygame model? Because it is developed by some Britishers guy in the past, and they are like white. And majority of the white guys still stuck with this model. They're still like following this model. The problem is that even if this model is not working these days, I will explain you why this model is not working these days. But these guys have so high ego, they have so much invested in this model, they will not switch to some other system which is more effective. For example, my system from Deepak Dating Mastery. But if you are new to seduction community and you start to think, oh, should I follow this London Daygame model? Lot of guys from London especially who are beginners still going to these London coaches and try to follow that model, but it's not going to work. I will explain you why. So if you are new guy, if you are new to the community and you have not yet, you are just thinking about following their system, so it's better not to follow, and I will explain you why you should not follow, what are the drawbacks of following this system, why the system is also not very effective. I am not bashing anyone in this video. I will be talking in a very scientific, in a very technical way, and I will explain you everything. So London Daygame model, so it was started at this time somewhere, I don't know, maybe it is like beyond, it is started somewhere here, but we say like, because I came to community in 2010, so maybe it is starting from here. And for example, so this guy, the Yad, was doing the London Daygame model, like it was going, and then there were some other guys also contributed to the system. Steve Jabba, for example, he came, he was a good looking guy actually, so he came into the system. Then some other guy came into the system. There are some guys who contributed to the system, but I'm in good terms with them, so I will not use their name, but I will use the other guy's name. So then you have it was 2012. It was very much dominated by this guy Yad till, I guess, till 2000, around till 2014, 2015, it was quite dominated by this guy Yad. Steve Jabba, this guy, the Steve Jabba, he was doing parallelly. Also, it was also more or less like a London Daygame. And then the system, then here it was like, the one guy who was working with Yad, who was Tom Torero. My friends say him Tom Tomato. So this guy, Tom Torero, came, and he was working with his some friend, and they also came here. And I guess Tom Torero is more or less is gone. So many of these guys are actually gone. And there is a one guy right now. There is a one guy, as per my knowledge, good looking guy, plus 8.5 looks level. One guy is doing this model. Like, I don't want to use his name, so that guy is doing this LDM at present. So this is like, I'm telling you like, a bit about like how it was. So it was started like, when I started the dating community, I started in 2010 from as per my knowledge at that time, like Daygame.com, Yad was there, and later like Tom Terrero and some other London guys came. I don't know them, and some guys I don't want to use their name. And there was a good looking guy, Steve Jobba, he was doing his thing. And then it is like going on, and more or less all these guys are gone. This guy is gone, Tom Terrero is more or less is gone, Yad is gone. There is a one good looking guy is doing right now, this LDM. So that's like a brief history I'm talking. So how it was developed. Now we talk about how it was developed. Again, we will use the same graph. If you remember, we use the same graph from my other videos, understanding game from the female perspective. You have to watch that 2 parts video. We will be using the same graph. So one is attraction threshold, one is attention threshold. So London Daygame, we are talking about now LDM. So London Daygame, so it was based more or less on the attraction threshold. The London Daygame was more or less based on attraction threshold. You go direct, you do front stop, there are like different ways to stop the girl, but more or less you are going direct. You are talking to the girl in a direct way, showing your intentions, like, strong eye contact. This is what they do. So this is, for example, we again have this time here. So like here, for example, we say like London Daygame was like, some guys are coming here, some guys are coming very near to the attraction, but more or less like, they are on this part, they are doing the game, they were doing the game. So we can cut this part. We are not talking about now the like, progression towards sex in this video. So for example, somebody start from here, the game start, they approach the girl here, London. So for example, they were doing it in London. We are not talking about now progression towards sex. We are not talking about this part. We are using this graph in a different way. So it was started in London. Now the thing was, here the problem was they have like, girl were giving like, big resistance here in London. So they decided to change to the different place. They went to the different like they changed the location and go to some easy place where they can use their British heritage, British accent, British ethnicity, so that the game become easy. So actually they never able to develop is like, good game to bypass the resistance what they face in England. So what they do, they like, this is, for example, they go, this is the LDM here. I'm showing this timeline. So LDM goes here, like this is like hard resistance come, and if they cannot go, what they do, they went to some second world country, for example, and started to game there. So here the resistance is slightly less resistance compared to this one. What is in here is the second world country. So here the resistance is slightly less, and they bypassed through it, and they got some results here. They got some results, but the problem is the game quality is still was still the same. It was not really developed like to deal with resistance. Only in that when they did the location change, the big game for them become easier, and the game, the LDM was not really good developed. That was the main problem. I will tell you technically explain you. I will take one part of that system and I will explain you why, comparing to my system. So this is what happened, So for example, we say I'm not maybe I was not even in game when the system was, but we still say 2010, and it was around maybe 2012 they shifted to 2014, they shifted to some other places, second world countries here. I'm just maybe that these years can be wrong, but this is how they show the success in some second world countries where they can cash out their British accent, their British heritage, their looks, they're this British guy is coming from England. Oh, the girls were amazed. Oh my God, let's talk to these foreigners, and they got good reaction from them, and they bypass the resistance. The resistance what they were getting in England, they were not getting there, and they were getting some results there. I'm not saying that they are completely, but they were getting some results there, not too much, but some. So it is going like this. Now the problem is, now this is very interesting. Now it is 2021. LDM, we are talking about 2021. Now what is going on? That is very interesting thing. Now if you see, the problem is that the base game level of LDM was never strong. It was based on on this part, this attraction threshold. It was based on attraction threshold. So it is going from here, more or less it is starting this attraction threshold. So when you are going to, we go slightly back, but not completely back. So we go starting from second world countries. So second and third world countries. So they got some, even with their thin game, not very strong game, they got some success. They got some here, the girl gave some resistance here, we say this is the resistance, it bypassed, they still got manageable to get not really good success, but some success which was still okay. They bypass. Now it is, we say it is now 2021. Now when we are going 2021 this time, now the problem is the girl were giving them some resistance. Okay, we say this is the base resistance they were giving them. This is really important to know. Weak game which was working in past, not on every situation. To some guys it was working, for majority of the guys, white guys, it was working for them. Now this is really this now the really fun start. Now from there the fun start. So now we have the girls in the second world countries, they were giving some resistance. Forget about London. London is completely fail. If you are even these guys, they are not going to survive in London, these 2020 with LDM. It is not going to work. So now we have, addition to this resistance, we have now big resistance we have is, one is this this resistance is thick resistance. I will say this is the new resistance, social media resistance, which includes IG plus Tinder and all the stuff, social media, TikTok and whatever, like all these things include in this. So now we have the very interesting thing here is that this is the like social media, resistance, Instagram, Tinder. Now the girls in the second world countries, all these girls knows their value. That's interesting thing. In the past, they utilized they use the advantage of being Britishers, coming from England, going to the second or third world country. In the past, they did it. They utilized their British heritage, their accent and all the stuff, and some like basic level of like weak level of attraction based game. They got some results. Now the problem is that they are facing like big resistance here. That's the one type of resistance. That's the one resistance. And one is also resistance. What they have is, even if, for example, when they got here, we say like, here, even if they get number here of the girl, even if in some situation they got the number, the girl really liked them, on that moment, they got the number. Then when the girl is going back home, she's again, this Instagram, Tinder, this resistance, this what we say like, it is not coming directly when they approach them, but it is when she's back home. That's why I'm putting in dots. I hope you will understand everything. It's very technical. So now even if they got the number, they are facing this resistance because the girl is still like bombarded by like Instagram DMs and Tinder and like Badu and all the things going on right now. Even in these, forget about London, forget about that, like London. I'm talking about like in even the second world or third world countries we're talking about. So even if we say they got the somehow the number, they able to close, majority of the time like they go and it will die out. It is not going to work. It is not going to work because the girls knows their value. They know their value. Even if they bypassed somehow the resistance, they got the number, they are still dealing with this kind of resistance here, which is like a hidden, I will say like hidden resistance, or it is like resistance which is the girl is like when you have to deal with that resistance also, that she is now on the Instagram, on Tinder, and that kind of, she's also have the options to meet many guys. You understand? She has options to meet many guys. So a weak day game approach is not going to work now. It is not going to work. This is really, the weak London day game model is not going to work. That's the main problem right now. So this is failed. So some of the guys are coming up with the idea. I mean, okay, whatever they are to solve this problem, they are coming up with the idea. I will tell you now what they are coming up. So we are talking about 2021. So we already saw like the game is like starting from here somewhere. So they got like original resistance. They got like this now social media resistance, and then even if you get the number, then you are still like facing this kind of here resistance, the same thing like social media resistance, but after getting the number. So resistance after getting the number. So now we have here, so they come up with the idea, some guys come up with the idea, learning local language. They come up with the idea, okay, if we learn, like, for example, if you go to some third world country, maybe like, anywhere like, Poland, or Poland is the second world, like Spain, or like, Brazil, or somewhere like you're going, so you're going in some countries and you start to learn some, like, okay, we strengthen our game if we learn the language. So they try to strengthen the game by learning the language, which the game is like failing here, for example, not working. So they are thinking, so when they learn the language, so they think that they use the language, this one, so maybe they will maybe they will bypass, there is a one problem here. It is not going to work. First of all, the girls knows their value. First of all, the girls knows their value now. They think that if they've learned the language, maybe it will work out, but they are not able to understand their base game is weak. This game is weak. Second thing, even if they learn the language, the problem is that they will never be able to speak like a local guy who is speaking. They will never be speaking like a local guy who is speaking. You understand? So they will always be seen as a foreigner. Their London heritage, their British heritage is gone. It is not the way it was used to work in 2012, 2013, 14. It is not going to work in 2021. You understand? That kind of luxury is gone. It is not going to work that really good for them. So I told you, even if they learn the local language, the girl will not see them as a local guy. Second, it is very hard for them to translate their game into the local language, because even if they speak they have to speak in a very basic level. They are not going to be able to translate their game in a local language. It's going to be very hard. If they do it, they will not able to. The problem with the London Daygame, the white Daygame model, it is not very expressive kind of game. It is very rigid. You have to do the stacking, you have to do this thing. It is very rigid, like autistic Daygame model kind of say. I know that the guys are not autistic, but it is very less expressive. You have to be a high value guy so that the girl will stand and give you attention and attracted to you, and then you play your stacking and move the things towards sex, something like that. But now the girl is not really care. Even maximum they will get the number. The girl is not really interested in meeting them, no matter how good because the girl is already having, if they're going for tighter quality girls, the girl is already having lot of guy on the Instagram. So learning local language is not going to work unless they change their game style, which is, if somebody's invested so much in London Daygame, it is in London Daygame model, it is impossible for them, because their ego is also involved. So they have to change their Daygame style completely so that it works. It works for them. So what we see here, the language is not going to work that much, even if they get more maximum, some here number close, I say NC. Again, this invisible social media resistance, what they will face when the girl is going back home. Imagine a local guy is speaking imagine you have to think in a really good way. I mean, you cannot fool the girls these days. It is not going to I just go to some other country. And if you're going for the hotter girls, for example, if somebody is going to some other country, London Daygame model is based on gaming girls it is not going to work in London. Sorry, it is not going to work in London unless you are 8.5 9 Chad, who is right now teaching guys, fooling guys. So London Daygame model is not going to work even for the these guys who developed the game. They're also getting older. Many of these guys are getting older, and they use their privileges to get some results in these countries. So now imagine this guy they're getting older also. They learn the local language. Okay, they learn the local language. They approach the girl. Oh, you speak my local language. Oh, very good. So, but he use his basic game. Speak some basic. He cannot translate his game. It is very hard to translate the game in a different language unless you have to practice a lot. or you are like expressive kind of person where you can project your emotionality through like where you project what you want to say through your expression, through your emotionality, even if the word you're using is not 100% correct, but you can still project that emotion and emotionality or expressiveness to the girl, even the girl is not able to understand fully your language, or even if you're speaking in a broken language of her. So now they have this rigid structure they will follow, and they use some basic, local language they learn to impress girl. Okay, maximum she will give you number. Now this part is still there, they have to deal. When they're going back, they will use Google Translate to do the text exchange. But this girl, for example, the girls, they know their value, plus local guys, the local guys will be always preferred. They can DM her. She has access to the local guys, like top tier local guys from all over the country. She has access to top tier local. These guys don't able to understand. I'm gaming, even now I'm gaming, and I know all these things. That's why, like, and I'm always changing, and I'm like, improving my system now also, how I deal, how we can improve it, like, So the local guys, they have access to these girls have access to the local guys also, plus I also have, like, access to the rich guys from all over the world. And, like, you remember from Dubai, from Saudi Arabia, these are like rich guys, so they have access to them also. So even if they impress this girl maybe here, like, oh, I can speak their language, oh, I'm learning, I'm putting a lot of hours, like every day I'm putting a lot of hours in learning language, it is not going to work for you. It is not going to work. It is not going to work. So that's why the system is going to fail. LDM, White Daygame model or London Daygame model is going to fail. It is failing. It is not going to work. You understand? So why it is not going to work? These are the reasons now, because now these days the resistance is solid. The girls are giving a solid resistance. It is very hard to bypass. Even if you learn the local languages, you are not going to pass it through it. It is, you can try it, but it is just waste of time and effort. You have to change the game, the way you play the game. Now we talk about, I will just take one, because otherwise the video will become too big. So I will just take one technical part of LDM, London Daygame model, and compare that part with my system. We take the part is stacking, assumption stacking, what we say, assumption stacking, what we take that part, and that we break down technically. People think that I'm a low IQ third world country immigrant. I have no, my English is not really good. Okay, my English is not really good, but it is, my English is not representing my IQ, my technical skills, my understanding of game. So you have to understand, like, you have to see it from the technical perspective. Even if I'm not speaking the best perfect English, but I understand the game in a very technical, a very scientific way. That's why I'm able to develop a system which is working even now. By the way, if you're liking this video, then like this video, share this video to other guys who really need it, who want this help, and subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button also. And also, guys, Dating Mastery is there. You should definitely check this product out. One of the best product on this planet. It is impossible for anyone in this world to make product better than this. So now we talk about this stacking, assumption stacking. So now we do the assumption stack, understanding the assumption stacking. I make the graph already. Okay, this is how we do it. So this is who we say, this is the LDM boy, this is the girl. So you're starting game somewhere from here, attraction threshold. The game is starting from attraction threshold. We say this is the guy, he approached the girl, he do the assumption stacking. So assumption stacking, they work, they are making statements about the girl. So for example, you are like a bird, you look like you have this thing, you are wearing this dress, and you look like you are from Russia. Russian girls are crazy and they drink vodka. You are from Poland. So they speak in this way, like I'm just over exaggerating, but they do the assumption stacking, like, stacking after stacking after stacking. So for example, this is how it works. So they do the stack, and here's the girl, he received the stack. It is like, you will love the way I'm explaining. I love to explain like that. So now he do the another stack, the girl received the stack. Then she will say, Baba, I am doing this, and then they do the other stack, and here is the girl receiving the stack. So you see, so in the old days when the resistance was not very strong, something like this, and it is going good. Okay, this is going good now. Old days when they have the advantage of, like, bring Britisher accent and all the stuff, and the girl didn't know about their value. The biggest problem is that the girl now know their value in Instagram and social media, which makes the game, the way you have to game, it's a bit different now. When you're gaming the girl on the street, it's a bit different. You have to work slightly more. So these weak day game models, they are not going to exist in future. So this is like, what we say, this is the stacking example. This is boy, girl. Got it? So this is like, stacking example. He did the assumption stack, the girl received the stack. Okay, then he do the other assumption stack, girl received the stack, then is the assumption stack. Instead of stack, prerequisite, it is starting somewhere here, attraction threshold, something like that. Somewhere here it is started, and it works good. It can work, in that way. Now it was the old time, it was the old time, and now what is happening now? I have made it graph. Okay, these days, what is the problem we have now? So now again, I told you, like, the resistance is much bigger now. This is base resistance, and this is social media resistance. Social media resistance, like, started to. So they do the stack, doesn't work out. They do another stack, it doesn't work out. They do another stack, it doesn't work out. Maybe they do one stack, maybe it will work out, but it's still not really, like, So this is what they are doing. So it doesn't work out, they are more or less not working, and then you say, like, oh, my stacking was not very good. My stacking was, I'm not able to stack really good. Oh, something is problem. I don't know. My stacking is, maybe the girl is not able to understand. For example, the stacking what used to work in the past, it was working in the past. What was working in the past, for example, now not working, present. For example, they go to the girl, the resistance, for example, this resistance is much bigger. The girl, for example, what is this guy? I already have, like, top tier guy, local guys on my IG. What is this? Who is this guy? And the girl see, like, oh, you don't speak my language? I have no I don't want to talk to you. And they just, like, and even if they stack it, just whatever. The girl has no incentive to put efforts in learning in speaking to the Englishman. I'm an Englishman, I'm from England. They don't have any incentive to speak, to put effort, because the girl choose the easiest way, and they are already getting top tier guys from local place, and they always prefer a local guy rather than a foreigner. Failing this, that's why the stacking is failing. Plus it is very rigid, like, you know, more or less, like, you know, these guys are no expression, no emotions, very less emotive. These guys, that is causing the stacking to fail these days. It's not going to work. Even if they speak the local language, the base style they speak, the style they speak, it is not going to work. It is not that much, it is still not that much emotion stimulating for the girl to react. That's the main problem they are facing. Unfortunately, this is how it is. It's the survival of the fittest. The weaker system is going to fail. All the attraction based system are going to fail. Even not now, maybe like in 2-3 years from now, they're gonna get failed. This attraction threshold, you know, system, and majority of the guys do attraction threshold. Sometimes they show you selected infield clips. They're doing some attraction threshold game, getting some success, but it is not going to work for average guys like us. You understand? So that's the main problem with the stacking, why it is not working now. Now I will explain you my system, only that part what we say, like so now we talk about, like, you know, I'm just explaining this my part, like, you know, how it is. So I learned the game. I'm not talking about the evolution of my game, how it was. Maybe another video I will make about it. But in this way, in this video, I will just talking about when we play the game on the attention threshold, from here, somewhere here, you know, at least reaching to the attention threshold. So what we do, this is the, again, this is the boy, this is the girl. So now the thing is, the game was, even from the very start, it was based on attention threshold. The base game was always developed on attention threshold. So now what we do, so imagine she has a resistance. Now these two resistance, the same resistance. So now what happens? So what we do, we are not doing the stacking. It's like a hybrid conversation pattern. What we use, it is a like mix of structured and natural conversation pattern. Hybrid conversation pattern. It's a mix of natural plus structured. Why we are using structured? Why we are using structured? The thing is, this is, if we see this, we have to, when we're starting here, we have to, why we are making it structured? So we have to take this conversation which is going, so we need a structure here so that the conversation goes to this direction. If we just focus on natural conversation, now you say, oh, why not natural conversation like this natural lifestyle, these James Marshall, I will break down them also. If we only focus on natural conversation, then what will happen? The problem is that we can have a natural conversation, but the problem is that the girl is not going to by herself lead the conversation towards romantical sexual direction. This is what we say, natural plus structured, what we say. So if we just rely on the natural conversation flow, then what will happen like this? So if we just rely on the natural conversation flow, even if we get, like, you know, it will just go like this. You understand? It is not going to work. It is not going to work. So that's why we use natural and natural plus structured kind of conversation pattern, which is a hybrid conversation pattern, which is a mix of natural and structure. And there is, even if we are using structured conversation pattern, it doesn't mean that we are not natural. Everything what you learned, after some time it become natural. It is natural in your behavior. So there is nothing like, you know, we are using some structured kind of thing. No, it is not like that. We have to lead the conversation towards romantic sexual direction. Then that's why we have to follow some structure. It is impossible. The girl is not going to lead the conversation into that direction. That's why we use the natural conversation pattern, but with structured. and that require very high level of social skills. We work on very high social skills also. So game includes social skills. Some people think social skills are different. No, the game include everything: emotionality, expression, social skill, the way you calibrate, the way you express yourself, the way you escalate, the way you deal with the objections also. We'd handle objection logically. In some situation we handle objection logically. In some situation we handle objection emotionally. I mean, I have done, I don't know, PhD and XYZ, whatever the degree I have done everything in seduction in game. So now I will tell you, again this video is getting bigger, but whatever, how we deal with, like, what is the hybrid conversation pattern where we use, like, so here we use, like, plowing. So what we do is, for example, the girl is dealing with resistance, but what we do is we use very high level of social skills that are specifically designed for day game. For day game, I've explained this thing also in dating mastery. In dating mastery, I've explained. So what we do is we if you've seen the other, I have explained you. So here what we use is in the LDM stacking, which was not effective, why it is not affecting. What we use here is we use lot of like, threads. Some are, like, for example, structured, very solid structured, for example. Some are like normal, some are again like normal, some are again like, more like, predefined structured lines. Some are again like normal. So some are again here, I make it like this, and then structured. So what will happen, some will maybe not work, some breaks down, but we use so much that some will bypass. Maybe this is bypass, maybe this is also bypass, maybe this is bypass. So we use in such a way that it is a natural flow of conversation combined with a structured kind of system. It bypass everything. It bypass. Plus, we are not starting with an attraction threshold, so we get slightly less resistance here. Also, when you are going immediately on attraction threshold, the girl has to decide 0 or 1. Oh, do I find this guy attractive or not attractive? And then she may give you a resistance, and then you may slightly more resistance. But you understand? So we are using multiple, like, conversation threads, for example, some structure here. For example, you're using, like, predefined structure. What we use, we are using some opinion. It's a complicated system. I have explained in dating mastery actually. So we use the structured conversation pattern combined with natural conversation flow. But we are using, like, high level of social skills, expressiveness, emotionality. Also, later after the stacking, we introduce, later in this conversation pattern, when we've gone past here, we got the hooking. For example, here the girl is into us, we are reaching, like, there we also start to bring some escalation, escalation, and we close the deal here. So now, for example, the conversation is going like this, so here we use the escalation also. I mean, some escalation, light level escalation we also do here, also here, somewhere here, but not too much. But we will ramp up the escalation, deal with the objection part, dealing with all the objection, resistance handling, or objection handling, all she's giving, and then closing to that thing. So that's why this system is much more effective. And I have gamed girls, for example, who were not speaking English or German. I have like sleep with them also, because my game is not really rely on the language exact, like, best language. I'm not like, it more relies on expression. That's why even right now I'm in Germany, I'm enjoying my life like dating models. Yes, LDM guys, I'm dating models. Yes. So right now I'm in Germany, I'm dating models, and but if I have to go to some other countries, I have no problem because I can express myself. I can play my game I can still play my game through expressiveness, the way I project the emotionality, you know. So it is not a big deal. So that's why Deepak attention threshold system, that's why I just explained like, you know, one small part of this thing so that you understand. I can explain like, you know, in a very detail, but then video become insanely big. But right now we are just focusing on LDM, why LDM is getting failed and is going to be failed. I'm not bashing them. It just they had like, you know, they have weak system and it's not going to survive. It is impossible for the system to survive. Even if they learn the local language, it's not going to work unless they are like, you know, +8 Chad. There is a like, you know, dating coach, +8 London guy, London dating coach is a 8.8, 8.5, and he's scamming people all over the world like his game. Of course, he can talk to any girl, even in London. She will give him time, but it's not the guys who are coming to him. He's just fooling them. He's just like scamming them, or maybe he's don't know how the real game works. So yeah, that's what I want to say in this video. So guys, if you want to get laid today, in this time, or in future, you have two options. Deepak, first option is Deepak, and second option is also Deepak. So dating mastery from Deepak, from me, dating mastery is the future. There is no replacement. It is, nobody's doing attention level game. Nobody's doing. I have my proof. I have my students' proof. Everything is there. Guys, if you like this content, then like this video, share this video to other guys also who can benefit from it, and subscribe to this channel, hit the bell button, and also join Dating Mastery. It's just $1 trial. You will really love it. Really good product. So yeah, so this is what I want to say in this video. Like you have to understand, like, you know, the game is, if you're playing the game on attention level, it is going to survive to a very long time, and because it has the elements to deal with the present resistance girls are giving. It has the elements, you know, to deal the resistance and all the, like, you know, problem the girls create these days. It can bypass through it, and so you can still close the deal. It works. It really works even at that time, you know. So yeah, that's what I want to say in this video. I want to talk about London Daygame model and technically explain you one aspect, one technical part of London Daygame model, stacking, assumption stacking. Hope you like this video, enjoy this video, learned from this video. Take care, have a nice day, and join Dating Mastery. It's awesome products. You're gonna learn a lot from this product. Take care, bye. The type of skills and the confidence Deepak shows in his infields, you can get these skills for the first time through his brand new product, Dating Mastery. Join Dating Mastery now. It's no doubtably the best dating product on this planet, period. And if you don't like it in the first month, then you can also cancel it. No issues. Join Dating Mastery now. Get laid, get girlfriend, and live a happy life. The link is in the description below. Also guys, don't forget to watch the playlist Rock Solid Infield on this channel, where I'm doing live flirt, picking up girls in front of camera, showing top level pickup and attraction skills. Also don't forget to watch Student Transformation and Testimonials, where I'm teaching my students, showing full documentaries, student success and their testimonials also.